Hi. I hope you guys can hear me just fine. I have an air conditioner on behind me and a fan on over there. It is 90 degrees in Detroit today, and I just am not willing to play those kind of games. So, I hope I'm projecting enough so that you can hear me. I'm recording this on my computer, nothing fancy. So yeah. Anyhow, I am making this video because I have some questions in my ask box on Tumblr, and they're all kind of related. So I wanted to just kind of answer them all in one setting. I just figured that'd be easier. I wanted to do a video similar to this a while ago, but sometimes, I'll be honest, things just escape me and they never quite happen. So I'm sorry about that, but we're here now, so let's just, clean slate. Yesterday, I was kind of a little bit annoyed, and sometimes when I'm annoyed, I do little petty things, like make memes of myself. And I did that yesterday, and it spread around Tumblr a lot faster than I thought it was going to, which is not a bad thing. I just am really surprised. But thank you to everybody who reblogged that and who identified with that. I really appreciate you. But before I get into a couple of the questions that I have in my box, I just want to talk about that. So, firstly, what I want to say is that when an oppressed group of people or a marginalized group of people or a person from a marginalized group speaks about their lived experience, it is not the duty of someone outside of that group to try to invalidate that experience. If I am speaking, it really stemmed from the post I did about what was said in O Magazine about wearing crop tops and how you absolutely have to have a flat stomach in order to do so. A lot of plus size women were upset about that because it's absolutely not true. I wear crop tops all the time, and so do a lot of people that I know, and no one ever died, nothing bad ever happened, and it looked cute in the process, so that's absolutely false. But every now and then when I post something related to the plus size experience, the plus size struggle, I get a comment from someone outside of that marginalized group who has an issue. Honestly, I'm going to go ahead and chalk it up to it being an issue understanding, being able to fathom what it is that I'm saying and where I'm coming from, because there's literally no other reason to try to negate what I'm saying. You get comments from people who say things like, oh, well, it's just a matter of what looks flattering on you, or people are allowed to say what they're attracted to or whatever have you. Just whatever they can think of to say to try to take away from my kind of outlet, or my outlet of what I'm feeling, or what traumas I've experienced because of words like that. And it's like, honestly, just like you don't even go here. Like you don't have license to say anything about it because it's not something that you're experiencing. And even if you want to ask a question or spark a conversation, I just feel like a lot of people who do that come from a place of I'm right and you're wrong, and not so much a place of, hey, I don't get it, can you help me understand? So a lot of times when I do posts like that, like the meme post, it's to relieve some frustration for sure, to be petty, absolutely, because I'm a very petty person, but it's also to honestly be a teaching tool. You also, when I do posts like that, the meme posts, I get comments like, you're not fat, you're gorgeous. And I'm sure a lot of other plus size people can relate to remarks like that. And I also like using moments like that as a teaching tool because, and I guess this carries right over into my second point, fatness and beauty don't negate each other. They're not opposites. They can coexist. They often coexist, and I like to believe that they coexist in myself and in many of the girls that I know, and many of the girls that have come into my inbox, for example. It's definitely possible to be pretty and to be fat at the same time. I want people to understand that when they say things like that, it's not a compliment, and it actually is extremely self-serving and damaging to the person that you're speaking about. It only serves to soothe the social conditioning that you are kind of reacting from. We all have been conditioned to feel like fatness is it kind of goes along with ugliness or badness in some way. So when you find yourself being attracted to someone who is fat or enjoying in some way someone who is fat, you have to cancel out the fatness in order to proceed with the attraction or proceed with the enjoyment or whatever have you. And you don't have to do that. You can go on with your attraction or go on with your admiration without having to completely erase something that, especially if a person is working hard on a personal level to find themselves in that identity. You don't have to stop viewing me as a fat person to also view me as a person who is pretty, or a person who is smart, or a person who is loving, worthy of love, a person who is kind and generous and whatever you think I am, whatever. You don't have to cancel that out or stop seeing like my arm flab because it's not going away just because you stop saying it. In order to proceed with attraction, you just don't. So having said that, I don't want to make this video too long, but having made those 2 points, I want to get back into Tumblr real quick. Let me see. So this one question, for example, most of these are pretty similar. Again, I don't know if I said that already, but that's why I wanted to kind of lump them into one video. But I get a lot of questions from other young women, especially young women who are plus size, about feeling confident in their own skin. Like part of this question actually says, "You're a beautiful human being, and I just want some hope to feel confident in my own skin." And the major advice I have for that, first of all, I want to preface that by saying that I am not confident 100% of the time. I don't know anyone who is. Not to say that there isn't someone on the face of the earth who is. Possibly Kanye. That's the only person I can think of. But it's certainly not me. I don't wake up every day feeling amazing. I don't always think I look my best. I don't always feel my best. I don't always feel confident. And confidence is something that is new to me, to be honest. Like just general confidence. It's something that I struggled with for a very long time. I'm 26 years old, and probably like age maybe 4 to, I don't know, 24 maybe, 23, I don't know, pretty recent. I spent all of those years with really poor self-esteem. So it's still something that's new to me. It's something that I am working on every day. It's a conscious daily effort to be confident in my appearance and otherwise. So don't think that just because you see girls online who seem like they just, I don't know, that they have something that you admire or something that you want for yourself, it's not necessarily safe to assume that they are 100% confident. Even when you see me or other girls like in makeup and just all this fabulousness, sometimes even that is not enough. It just depends. We're all human, and I don't know if it's possible, unless again you're Kanye, to be confident all the time. So definitely keep that in mind. Just because you admire someone, it doesn't mean that they necessarily feel the same way about themselves. They might feel exactly, or they likely feel exactly the way that you do. But in regards to achieving confidence and achieving self-love and feeling comfortable in your own skin, I always suggest figuring out what it is that caused you to lose your confidence in the first place. You need to really dig deep and figure out what it is that's holding you back and what your relationship with that thing or that person or that idea is. You need to start breaking down those walls first. Everything starts with you. Everything starts up here. So you got to figure that out. You got to figure out what it is and how you're going to get rid of it. Also, again, like I just said, it's a daily effort. So you have to literally tell yourself, give yourself like the literal permission to feel confident and to feel good about yourself. It's a process. It's not something that's going to happen overnight. I still don't have it perfected, but I'm working on it. And that's the important part. The important thing is to just be making progress every day and to just want it. I can't want it more than you do. I would love for every person that I come across and every person who has ever sent me a message or will ever send me a message to wake up one day and just feel okay and to feel just good about themselves, at least part-time. I would love that. That's like my dream for just all of us just to feel good about ourselves. But that's not, it can only happen if all of us individually want it for ourselves. We can want it for each other until the cows come home, but it all starts with us as individuals. So you have to look at yourself, accept whatever it is that you don't like. I mean, it's there. There's a lot of things physically, mentally, whatever that I don't like about myself either. Things that have happened in my life that I wish would have never happened. Things that I've done that I wish I would have never done. But the fact of the matter is, all those things happen. All those things exist, and there's nothing you can do. You can only figure out how to cope and move on. So you have to start from that place, figuring out what's the problem, accepting the problem, that it happened for a reason, and there's nothing you can do to take it back, and figuring out how to progress from there. It's something you gotta want, something you gotta work on. I can give you all the encouragement, and my inbox is always open for some encouragement. Absolutely. Like, don't hesitate to reach out to me if you just need some encouraging words. But I can only do so much. I can only put so many good vibes for you out into the atmosphere. I can only suggest so many clothing stores. I can only suggest so many things. I mean, I can only do so much for you, especially when I'm still working on me. So, yeah, I feel like I'm rambling, but yeah, it's a conscious effort for sure. It's something that you gotta want and you gotta work on. It's hard work, but it can be done. I know that it can be done. I'm living proof that it can be. So yeah, this is almost 14 minutes. I really didn't want to go this long, so I'm sorry. I get a little wordy sometimes, but I am really passionate about this stuff. So, I don't know if that was like in depth enough. I definitely am not opposed to doing more videos, in the future. If there's anything specific people want me to talk about, or if the spirit just moves me and I just feel like I need to make another video about something else. So I don't know if this will be a thing, but whatever. Anyway, I hope that helps. I hope that makes sense, and I hope it helps at least one person. I don't know. There's quite a few messages in my box, but I hope at least one of you guys can pull something from that and at least start your journey to becoming, or to just really like digging yourself, really loving yourself. So yeah, I'm gonna get out of here. I need to lay down. I'm tired. So yeah, I will see you guys on Tumblr. Bye.